I'm always trying to create systems in the store to replace myself. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Sergio Briones. If you're new to the channel, this channel is about personal finance, my brick and mortar business, which is a convenience store, and about my rental portfolio. So last video, I don't know if you noticed a difference, but I wrote everything down. Basically, I had a script and I was reading it and filming myself. But I was watching it back. I don't know if you can tell that I was reading and I kind of don't like the way it came out. Let me know if you notice a difference. I decided to write it down because sometimes I go in circles. Sometimes I get stuck and just like right now, I get stuck when I'm trying to communicate something, but I think it sounds and it looks a little bit more real when I get stuck. I think I decided to only do bullets instead of writing everything down so I can stay on track versus having a script and reading everything. So we'll see how it goes. I haven't been uploading. I've been busy. I've been lazy. I bought some properties and I've sold some properties. I've been hustling. When I say lazy, it's because sometimes I stay home and I don't do anything, but in the back end, I have my team working at the store. I have my contractor right now remodeling a house that I bought. So we're working. I'm still renting the swimming pool in my backyard. I have to do some videos to update you guys on everything. You probably already know what this video is about because of the title, of course. Self-employed versus a business. There's a big difference between self-employed and a business. A lot of people think that it's the same thing. Oh, by the way, I just got a haircut and the lady barber combed my hair and kind of looks like a cow licked me. So, going back to the video, sorry guys. I kind of lost I was already getting used to making these videos and I haven't done it in a while, so I feel rusty. So what's the difference between a self-employed and a business? So my first bullet says working on the business versus in the business. That's one example of how a self-employed business compares to an actual business. We're supposed to be working on the business, not inside the business. I'm gonna give you an example so you guys can have a better understanding of what I'm talking about. I own a convenience store. In the convenience store, I can decide to work as a cashier and be here 8 hours a day, or I can leverage my time via an employee, hire an employee, train him, have him do the same thing that I would do if I was here, pay him, and I have my time back, my freedom, so I can work in other business ventures. I cannot completely not think of the business in years. Of course, I have to stay on top of it, check reports. We use a lot of WhatsApp messages on the app. I look at the reports, I look at payroll. I am still working on the business, but not inside. I work basically on the back end. I come to the office every now and then. Most of the work is done on my cell phone, so I don't have to be present. The second point that I have here in my list, I jotted down 7 things. They're in no specific order. I just noted down what came to my mind. The second one is income stops if you stop working. A plumber starts working. It doesn't have to be in a company. He can do plumbing on his own. He can put on Craigslist an ad or in the newspaper, a plumber for hire, and even though he's working on his own, he has a van, a plumbing van with a name and everything, and it looks like a business. It's actually not a business because the day he stops working, he stops making money. If he decides to take 1 week off and go to Hawaii, he's not gonna make money for that week. A person like that needs to start leveraging his skills and his time, and he needs to start training a team so that he has employees, and once he has employees, the employees do the actual plumbing job and he only works on the reports, maybe a little bit of customer service, getting new customers. But even that will be working in the business, but at least doing that, because it won't require as much time as actually fixing the pipes and all that. It's very important for the money not to depend on you. Bullet number 3, your business is based on your skill sets. So once again, this one's kind of similar. I'm gonna use a barber as an example because I just got a haircut. A barber can open his own shop and he can do his own cuts and he can say, hey, I opened my own business. But in reality, he bought himself a job. Why? Because he has to go there, he has to show up, he has to cut hair in order to make money. If that barber one day is sick and he cannot work, he's not gonna make money for that day. But if he gets smart and turns his self-employment into a business, he starts hiring other people, other barbers, puts more chairs, or maybe rents out the chairs to other barbers. The day he doesn't go into work, he's still gonna make money if he's sleeping at home. Why? Because the other barbers are gonna be cutting hair, they're gonna give him his part of the commission, or if he's renting the chairs, the barbers are still gonna be paying him the weekly rents. So, bullet number 4, trade time for money. When you have a job, let's say you work at McDonald's, you're actually trading your time for money. So you trade in 8 hours of your time and they pay you, let's say $60 for the 8 hours. When you're self-employed, you're also trading time for money. So let's say you cut grass. You have a self-employment job and you cut grass, you work for yourself. Let's say you take 2 hours to cut a front yard from a house. They pay you $150. You're gonna be trading that time, those 2 hours, for $150. So when you're trading time for money, it's very difficult to become rich. It's very difficult to move up in the world. You need to learn to trade money for money. So you invest money and you get more money, or you invest your skills and your connections and you make money. Once again, instead of cutting the grass yourself, you hire other people, or you subcontract another company and they cut it, and you make maybe a smaller percentage of that 150, but you're gonna be able to do that 100 times because you're not gonna invest your time to cut the grass. So we spoke a little bit about self-employment. Now we're gonna talk about a business. A business is a system that creates you money. So here in my convenience store where I'm filming this video, when I bought it, the owner was running the store. He had a stalker, but he was the main one running the store. Now that's fine. A lot of people do that. It's actually better because they won't steal from you and you're on top of everything. Nobody's gonna take care of the business as yourself. I've heard it a lot of times and it's true. Nobody's gonna take care of it as you. But there's a quote from Paul Getty that says, I would rather receive 1% of the income of 100 men than 100% of the income of one man. So in other words, I know the story is not gonna be 100% like I would have it, but if they can have it 80 or 90% and I can have 100% of my time, I'm okay with that. I am always trying to create systems in the store to replace myself. When we first bought the store, my wife was running it in the morning, I was running it in the nights. I hired somebody, I trained him, and he replaced myself. I put him in the nights and my wife was still working in the mornings and I was working some other job. Then I trained the night person to run the mornings and I hired somebody else to run the nights. Slowly we started removing ourselves from the store. Then we would have a cashier and a stocker here, but I would still come and I would do the payroll every week. Then I hired somebody to do the payroll. They would basically run the store, but I would go to our local Sam's Club, H-E-B, and to other vendors, and I would go buy the inventory and I would come and bring it to the store. Then I started taking one employee to the local vendors. He would do the list, he would get all the inventory and I would bring him back. I decided to ask the morning a cashier. He goes in his truck and he gets the inventory. This is just an example of how we're building systems and we're removing ourselves from the actual business. We're replacing ourselves with somebody else, and doing this allows us to work in other business ventures. Little by little, even if we have to lower our payroll, our personal dividends, to hire more people, and maybe we make a little bit less, but the store runs on its own like a good oiled engine. The second to the last point is self-employed people are creating jobs for themselves. Like I said a while ago, sometimes I've been offered that they're selling a business and I go and talk to them. I see their payroll, I see their gross income and their net income, the owner working on the business. I don't see any employees. What I see there is that they're basically selling me a job masked as a business. So you gotta be very careful with that. Sometimes people sell businesses that are actually jobs that they want to get rid of, and for me that's like a prison, because once you buy something like that, you cannot afford to pay somebody else to do it. You have to do it yourself. It's like a prison because you cannot go anywhere, you cannot take vacations, because the day you close, you don't make money. You just gotta be very careful with that. I've been offered several businesses like that. One was another convenience store, a very small convenience store that had very little sales, and it was owner operated, 0 employees. She was basically selling me a job. I know that maybe you can grow it, but she had been there for years, it hadn't grown, and I had to say no. As for the last point, on the other side, a business creates jobs and opportunities for others. A self-employment creates a job for yourself, and a business creates jobs for others. So right now, like for the convenience store, I think we have a team of 7 employees, counting the meat market. The team is growing. I've been telling my team, try to learn everything, try to do a good job. For example, there's one supervisor and then there's several cashiers. I tell the cashiers, maybe you don't see you growing in this business, in my business, in the convenience store, because it's a small convenience store. But maybe in the future, I'm gonna buy another convenience store, and maybe I'm gonna take you from this store and put you over there to run that other convenience store. Having a business creates a lot of opportunities. I mean, it creates jobs and opportunities for others. You create bonds with people, you help out people, people help out you, and that's why I call this a team. I told them maybe one day they're gonna sell me a convenience store and I'm not gonna wanna take it, I'm not gonna have the money or whatever, and maybe I'm gonna offer it to you. It already happened. One of the vendors told me that they were selling a convenience store on one of the outskirts of Laredo. We weren't ready, we didn't have the money, and I decided to tell my sister about it. My wife and I trained her, and she's doing very well. She's had it for maybe like 2 years. My brother-in-law and my sister quit their jobs. They're working there full-time. They have employees. They sell even more than what I sell, and I'm very happy for them. Those are the opportunities that you get when you have a business. A lot of networking is involved. You meet a lot of people from similar businesses. As far as customers go, here I have carpenters, people that put tint, people that wash cars, people that do landscaping, masonry, welders. I try to hire them for their service because they're my customers, so I try to be their customers also. One of them made me a kennel for my dog. I have a video on it. Another one is the one that drew the concrete on my house. I try to be grateful because they help me out here in the store. They buy their sodas, their beer here. I try to be grateful myself, and I try to use their services also. That's why I told you that I had a script, guys, because I would ramble a lot. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and if not, give me a thumbs down. I don't mind. I just want honest feedback. If you have a question, drop a comment below. I added my email to the channel in case you have any questions. If you want to shoot me an email, a little bit more personal questions. I don't know everything. I don't pretend to know everything. I'm learning as I go. I'm a 34-year-old Hispanic. I live in the border of Texas and Mexico. I mean, if I can make it, you guys can make it also. We're still hustling. We're still grinding every day. There's a lot of money floating around. There's money for everyone. So that's why a lot of people, a lot of friends have told me, hey, why do you say all your tricks, what you do in the channel? People are gonna know. And I always tell them, there's sun for everyone. Sun shines every day for everyone. And if I can help somebody, even if I can motivate someone, that's all that I want. And if I can make a few bucks in the future via ads or something, I mean, might as well. And I have fun recording these videos. Sometimes I'm lazy and I don't find the time to get my phone to start recording. But once I start recording, it's very fun for me. I love talking about business, about real estate. Keep an eye out for another video. I just bought another property. It has a small 400 square foot house. We're remodeling it, and It's an M1 property, so the zoning is good for business. So I'm planning on making a swimming pool to rent out, but as an actual business. So stay tuned for that video, guys. Thanks a lot. God bless.